What is up, everybody? Welcome into the Fit CEO podcast. We have a special guest today, one of our rock star clients, Katie Neiman, and she's going to talk about her experience in NLCA. So, Katie, let's do a short little introduction, and then we'll dive into your experience in NLCA.
Sure. I am a mom of four. I'm 37. I used to be a personal trainer before COVID. And before that, I ran a photography business from 2009 to like 2019. So, doing my own thing was kind of normal for me, right?
Let's
I
go.
just needed some help. So,
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. We have a lot to unpack because mom of four, that must mean that you do not have a lot of time. And the fact that you're having this success is pretty crazy. Before I start diving in and dissecting that, quickly tell everybody what has been your success in this short amount of time.
so I've been with NLCA for a month now, and I have 7 clients, and I have 3 more that they're coming on, but they're waiting till after Thanksgiving. So I'm still talking with people. Everyone's kind of on the fence right now when they want to eat their Thanksgiving food.
Yeah, 100%. Well, hey, 7 clients in your first 30 days, that's nothing to scoff at. And the fact that you have 3 more in the pipeline and that would make it 10 in a month and a half, that's pretty crazy. So let's dive right in. You said prior to COVID you were an in-person trainer, is that correct?
Yes, I worked at a gym. I was an independent contractor though, so I also trained people on the side. I've always found that doing a job where I can do it around my family works best for me. So I've never been a 9 to 5er.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Either
Yeah,
have I. Either have I.
yeah.
I'm curious, what made you want to switch to online fitness coaching from in-person?
Uh, well, I mean, when COVID happened, we had to shut the gym. They shut the gym down, and I started doing online classes out of my garage. Another fun fact is I got a divorce during COVID. So I was having to come up with an income to support my family, which was new to me because I had been married for 15 years. So I was online and I was like, okay, well, I can reach more people when I can train them everywhere versus just in person. So that gave me the idea for it.
100%, 100%. A lot of my audience knows Lacey. I believe Lacey is also your coach as well.
He is, yes.
There are a lot of parallels in y'all's story, and we'll talk about you having 4 kids and going through a divorce and still being successful at this in a minute. But before we do, what were some of the big challenges of growing your online fitness business by yourself prior to NLCA?
I would feel like selling myself is sometimes kind of a hard thing for me. I don't want to bug anyone or because of how money was in my life because it's hard to get. I needed it, right? um, I felt bad asking other people for money. So I feel like when when I got into your when I used you guys, I was listening to a lot of your mindset modules and just being like, I can do this. I know that I am valuable. I just am reaching out to other people now. And I've actually had a client, one that's my client now. She made me realize too a lot that she said, thanks, Katie, for thank you for reaching out to me. I was going to reach out to you and then I didn't do it. And I was like, oh my God, they're right.
I told you, I told you. So the biggest challenge prior when you were trying to do this on your own was marketing yourself, selling yourself. You associated a lot of that with money mindset challenges. What was the big like aha moment? Like what were some things that you feel like now have helped you improve that situation?
I well, just you guys giving us step by step how to reach out to people. I was kind of like worried about my delivery when I'm messaging people. I don't want to be pushy, but I don't want to not say the right thing either, because sometimes I'll get off track with people and then we'll have a story about 17 years ago and then not go anywhere with it.
Yeah.
So I feel like just having you guys put in the modules exactly what to do makes it so much easier. I'm like, okay, I could do that and I could do this, right?
Yeah. So the combination of having a structured system and then also people like already reaching out to you and saying, thank you for reaching out. I was scared to reach out to you, but you helping me has now led me to my goal. Those two things alone have helped you rid that challenge. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
I love it. I love it. All right, let's dive into the four kids. So obviously, like you mentioned, you went through a divorce prior to joining NLCA. You also
Yes.
have four kids, but you've been able to manage getting seven clients in 1 month. Talk us through those challenges. Like, what is it like managing both, and how do you do it?
Well, it's a little bit easier. My kids are a little bit older now. I have 11-year-old twin boys, a 13-year-old and a 17-year-old daughter. So they're my 17-year-old's pretty self-sufficient, right? But but I just do take them to school and then I work everything. I also had a 9 to 3 job during COVID that I was using to pay the bills, to make sure I was making rent and just doing it. I didn't really like it, but but I just got to quit that too. So that was
Hell
nice.
yeah! How does that feel?
So good. I was like, I don't know how people sit in an office for so long. This is terrible.
What was it, out of curiosity?
Um, I I typed for bills. It was like a billing company, a logistics company. So I paid freight bills. I was a freight bill auditor.
That sounds really boring.
And no one talks. So I was literally like not talking all day, and then the mailman would come in and I'd be like, "Oh my God, how's your day?"
So you and the mailman were best friends.
Yes, pretty much.
Nice. I
He
love
might
it.
miss me. No.
What'd you say?
I said he might miss me.
Hey, there you go. There you go. Maybe he becomes a client in the future.
Maybe. There you go.
All right. So overcoming the time challenge specifically, obviously, like you said, your oldest son is very self-sufficient. When your kids come home and it's 3 o'clock, how do you
Mhm.
continue to focus on your business and manage working with them as well?
So they kind of already were used to it because I was doing training in my garage from like in the afternoons, because when you're a trainer you have to work when people get off work, right? So um they kind of know too about Zoom because they were home and on Zoom for a long time.
Yep.
And they so there I'll just be like, okay guys, I have some meetings. I have meetings from this time to this time. And then they're like, okay, mom, we'll do our homework in our room. And then they're like, we're gonna walk the dog after that. I was like,
Wow. That's
okay.
awesome. That's awesome. So you've basically trained your kids to be self-sufficient in their own life and help you out by walking the dog.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, they know that I'm gonna make them go outside, so they're like, "It's fine. We're gonna walk the dog, mom. Don't make us run around."
There you go. Do
Yeah.
you feel like them watching you work so hard has had that impact where they do go in the room and just do their own homework and help you out in that regard?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I feel like they've had to take care of themselves a little bit during that time, which did give them a little bit more self-sufficiency. They know on certain nights too. I still do a little bit of in person, so like maybe a couple clients, and they just know those nights they're gonna have freezer dinners. So I'm like, sorry, you guys, you can have some protein cereal. I don't know, man. Do
Well, hey,
something.
nothing wrong with a little freezer dinner. So
Yeah.
let's backtrack a little bit. So prior to investing in NLCA, were you nervous? Did you have imposter syndrome? Kind of talk us through your mindset there.
Um, so I've always been one of those people who kind of jump before they know what's there. That's just who I am as a person. Um, I feel like I was nervous, but at the same time, I have lots of credit card debt from paying off trying to pay off my lawyer. My divorce is still not final, 3 years now. So I was working a job I hated. I had another job right on the side, my coaching, and I'm like, it can't get worse than this. So I'm like, it has to only go up from here. If not, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So
So you
I
just
was
took a
like,
chance on yourself.
I did. I was like, it's kind of like jumping out of a plane, right? Like, you don't know for sure if they're gonna pull the parachute, but you hope they do, and you think it's gonna be fun on the way down. So
Not everyone can do that. What would be your recommendation to the person right now who's sitting on the fence thinking about joining NLCA, but they're scared or terrified to do it? What would be your advice to that person?
just think about if you want to be stagnant. I feel like that's a good word for it, where you are going to stay the same and not potentially be happier than you are right now, or are you just going to do life at 50%? That's kind of how I
Yeah,
feel about it.
no,
Like
that's a great way to put it.
you can't make your life better if you don't take the chance.
100%. A really powerful question is, what happens if you do and what happens if you don't? So, like, what does your life look like 5 years from now if you choose not to move forward? And then what happens if you do, right? If you do
Yeah.
this and you are making, the money you want to make and make the impact you want to make, what does your life look like 5 years from now then? So those are two very powerful questions. I love that. All right. So you're in NLCA, right? You're having
Mhm.
you're having success. You have 7 clients. What do you feel like has been some of the most helpful parts?
I really enjoy the team group chat that I have on my phone. They are they're really good. Lacey is amazing, and everyone in there, they always even on a day like, it's not like every day I wake up and I'm like, man, this is the best day. Like the other day I was like, oh, I don't know. I feel like today is not a good day. And then when I read some of the chats everyone had in there, everyone's so positive, and it makes you be like, okay, what am I thinking? I could do this. This is no piece of cake. We got this, guys. So
Hell yeah. Okay, so you really like the NLCA culture, the client culture that we've created. Is that
I
correct?
do. I do. I feel like I do enjoy the modules. I jump around a lot. I'm not a person to just keep going. I'm a great reader. I could probably do it, like, just because that's what I do for fun. But I feel like I just kind of look for what I need at the time, because I'm trying to get the clients so I can make the money. So then I can build everything.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's not a bad thing to prioritize bringing in clients and client acquisition. Usually, most coaches starting out neglect that and try to focus on the things that make them feel comfortable. But it sounds like you're diving right in, which is awesome. Coming back to the NLCA client culture, how would you describe that client culture for somebody who's not actually currently in it?
I feel like it's very supportive. Everyone has been so they're very positive about what you can do. Sometimes when people are like having self-doubt or something, um they'll get like a voice memo from your coach, and Lacey's amazing. She's just like, listen here, this is what's happening, and you need to go follow Hermosi. and, and so and so then you go follow other people that she likes, and you're like, wow, this mindset is so good. And they'll tell you about like books to read for how you want to feel better about yourself in whatever you are doubting. So it's very supportive, and I don't feel like I have a lot of support about what I'm doing in my life right now. So I
Hell
feel
yeah.
like that's nice.
Well, I'm glad that we could fill that void for you. Talk to us about Lacey. What's been your experience with Lacey so far?
I love her personality. It kind of vibes with mine, so I enjoy that a lot. It's like talking to myself kind of, but she just knows more than me at things, so that's nice.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes when things feel a little overwhelming, like the one-on-one calls that we have, it's nice to have goals, mini goals broken down a little bit for you, so you could just like go over what you need to go over and be like, okay, in 2 weeks, this is what we're doing, because you get to meet with them bi-weekly, which is nice. So,
Yeah, 100%. All right, a few more questions. I've been pulling all these questions out my ass like I usually do on all my interviews.
okay.
But few more questions for you here. Now that you have 7 clients and
Mhm.
potentially even almost 10 in the next couple weeks here, um, did you ever think you would get there? And now that you're there, could you describe how that feels?
I am surprised at having that amount of clients already, but I did kind of know that I have people from when I was training, that have been asking me what I'm doing, like what because I still like every day I post like a gym selfie. Like that's just like what I do, right? And so I have to keep people interested in what I'm doing. Um and people have been asking, so I just feel like it was nice to when people have asked me what I was doing, it made me feel good when I asked them if they wanted to do coaching with me, that they said yes. So
Really?
it made me feel like, oh, okay, people are paying attention to what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
um
No, that's awesome.
it's kind of crazy that I have that amount already, but I got to keep grinding, right? Like you got to keep moving on.
No, 100%. What are you most excited about for the future?
I want to grow my business. I would like it to be big and successful, and I want everyone that naysayed about it to be like, "Oh, you coach me?"
That's the best. That's the best feeling. I had a group of friends when I was coming up in my business that would basically just bully me and make fun of the fact that I was doing it. And I shit you not, 2 years later, I stopped hanging out with them. But 2 years later, I moved down to Austin, and I got a random text from one of those friends saying, "Hey, we're in Austin. You want to come get a beer with us?" And I just never answered. And I was like, the fact that I'm
Sorry.
here and you've seen my success, now you want to hang out. No, that's not happening. So it's a good feeling, and I'm glad that's what you're excited to do to shut up the haters.
I am excited to shut up the haters. It's very interesting to see sometimes who around you is supportive and who is not. So
Yeah,
it's
it
kind of
is
funny.
interesting, and it will
Yeah.
happen for anyone who's trying to pursue success. It's going to happen. So just get ready for it and get ready to shut up the haters. All right, last question for you, Katie. There's a lot of people listening to this that, like I said earlier, are nervous, are scared, are doubtful, are unsure if they can have the success like you've had. What do you say to that individual who's on the fence of either joining NLCA or pursuing their entrepreneurial endeavor? What do you say to that individual?
You won't know until you try. You're not gonna win sitting on the fence. That's basically how I feel about it.
Yeah.
You're gonna be there for a long time. You're gonna be watching other people do their stuff.
That's no way to live life. You never want to come to the end of your life and say, well, at least I sat on the bench the whole time.
At least I was on the bench watching the game. No, no one says that.
100%. All right. Well, hey, we're coming to an end here. Where can people find you? Where can they follow you? Give yourself a little plug.
I have an Instagram and it's called at 4 kids WTF.
Wow, I love that handle.
I was like, I can't get rid of it. I'm known for that. So and then
Awesome.
I have a Facebook. It's under Katie Harity Neiman.
There we go. All right, y'all. Well, hey, stop living life on the fence. Make the jump, make the plunge, whether it's joining NLCA or starting your own fitness coaching business. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.